Okay, good morning, everybody. And what's today's topic on Coffee and Questions? Well, we're getting up on the weekend here, and maybe you got some kids and you're trying to get them interested in making things out in the shop and just having some fun on the weekend. So I'm going to show you how to make a hand out of nuts and bolts and a scorpion, and it's just for fun. You can get the kids out there. You can keep an eye on them. You can help them with the welding, of course, but they can kind of put things together. And it's a fun project to get out there and do, I mean, if you have the weekend free and you got some time to spend with your kids, and it gets them interested in tools. So I'm going to change the picture. We'll start talking about things. I'm going to start off with the scorpion, and then we'll go from there. Give me just a sec to change the picture. We'll get started. All right, let's take a look at the pictures here. We can see he made a little black widow spider over here on the left. This is just out of like a coat hanger type material. Kind of quick and easy to do with a couple of nuts and just having some fun. And I mean, you can get your kids out there with a vise or whatever it takes, or just some pliers, and they won't hurt themselves, and you start getting them interested in tools. And they can bend the metal, and you can show them how to do it. And then you can help them, of course, with the welding. Now the one over here on the right, this guy took an old wrench that he had and he cut it, and he got himself some more bolts, and he's got some of that 1/4-inch round, probably cold rolled steel, which is almost next to nothing out at the steel supply place. It's very cheap. And he went ahead and he put this together. Now you can stop at your supply store and you can count, the number of nuts here, and you can see how the sizes go down, and you can make the same thing yourself. And there's a hook he made up here for the tail. They sell these inexpensively out at Harbor Freight if you really want to make that hook type tail. And I thought this turned out pretty good, the way he did this. So you could take a look at these photos, think about it, make a few notes. And when you stop at the supply store today or going into the weekend, or maybe you have it in your garage, you can put together enough stuff to make the same thing. Now you don't have to use the exact same thing, of course. You might have scrap steel or other things laying around, and it would be like a fun little project to do, like I said, with the kids. If it doesn't turn out the way you want, you can always throw it out, start over, because you made it out of either inexpensive materials or free stuff laying around. Now, another one that's a little bit more fun, the one that the kids seem to enjoy quite a bit, is making a hand out of nuts and bolts. Let me change the picture. We'll get right to it, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion on it. Give me just a second. Okay, so the first part of this is you get your nuts and bolts together and you lay it out. Gives you an idea of how you're going to make it. These are just carriage bolts and nuts. Again, you can get them at any hardware store that you want. But you go ahead and you lay these out and you figure out how you're going to do it. And then the next step is going to be the welding and the bending. So let me change the picture and we'll go right to that. All right, you can see in this picture, went ahead and started the welding. And as you weld, you can make the fingers bend just at the knuckles. And then you can see down here where he used some real long bolts to make the rest of the arm. Okay, but this gives you an idea here on how to go ahead and weld these, whether you have a MIG welder or oxyacetylene. You can make this really easily and you can bend it. And if you take a look back at one of my videos, I showed you how you make one out of rebar that actually turns out to be like a cup holder for a soft drink. And you could do the same thing with this if you wanted to, but if you don't and you're just playing around and having a good time with the kids, just use these nuts and bolts. And then let me show you another picture here and we'll answer some questions. Okay, now looking over here on the right, it's kind of like his finished product. Now, he was going to bolt this down to something. That's the reason why you see that nut and bolt end on here. And you can do it for different reasons. I suppose you can make a tool hanger out of it. You can make a cup holder out of it. You can make it to hang like different wrenches and tools from. You can make it a useful tool. It's meant just to be a kid's project, and it's just meant to have some fun on the weekend with the kids out there. Give them the nuts and bolts, let them lay it out on the ground. You're there coaching them. You don't have to use a lot of dangerous hand tools. And when it comes to, if anything that you need, like, the flap disc on the 4.5-inch angle grinder, if you want to touch up the welds, you can help them with these things depending on their age. And, you always want to be safety conscious. And you can definitely help them with the welding. They'll think it's a cool project. When you're done, of course, you can paint these. You can do whatever you want. You can paint them with textured paint. You can paint them with generic black. You can just leave them alone and let them rust naturally, and they'll look really good too. So there's lots of different options here, and you can do lots of different things with them when you're done. It's a cool little project. It gets your kids involved in things, and it's fun both for you and for them because you're actively doing something with them. And I would encourage you to give it a shot on the weekend if you got a little bit of free time. I'm the home handyman. I hope you folks enjoyed. This is just a short video. I'm just giving you some suggestions on what to do with your kids. Hope you folks have a great day. I hope you click subscribe and keep following me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.